boxing here at the O2 Arena. Warriors Call, brought to you by Matchroom Sports and Team Sauerland. All the things you want in a night of boxing to make it an event like a rock concert. The greatest fans in the world, 18,000 strong. Tickets were sold out the first day they were made available. You've got a dream situation here. Two of the best promoters in the world. Two of the best fighters in the world. The best venue in the world here, one of the greatest cities in the world, in London. All makes for a very, very exciting night of boxing this coming Saturday. And let's just get things started right away. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone over to the gentleman who's here in his home turf for this fight. He comes to us with a professional record consisting of 30 victories, 22 knockouts, only 2 defeats, totally dominant in his last few fights. From Nottingham, ladies and gentlemen, the 3-time world champion, the reigning and defending IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Karl the Cobra Froch.
Thank you, Michael. Pleasure to meet Michael Buffer today. A little bit shell-shocked with that, but let's move on from there. Watched so many big fights over in the States, and yeah, now it's my time. Since the first fight with MIKKEL Kessler, I've been thinking about the fight and sort of dwelling on the fact that I lost. I know I won my title back in my very next fight in style against Arthur Abraham. I mean, I put an absolute boxing masterclass against Abraham and became WBC champion again, but I didn't beat MIKKEL Kessler because I didn't fight MIKKEL Kessler. So, you know, I can't say that I've been thinking about it for the last 3 years, and I've not been able to sleep for 3 years because I've had some good night's sleep, I've had some bad night's sleep. But I've been thinking about it, it's been in the back of my mind, and now the opportunity to set the record straight has come. For the last 12 weeks, 13, probably 14 weeks actually, I didn't really take my foot off the gas since November, over Christmas and New Year. I was out on my bike and I was driving, and I was on the road driving hard, and I've been doing my circuit training, but for the last 3 months of camp, certainly in the back of my mind has been MIKKEL Kessler and a rematch and revenge and getting myself back to the position where I can say, you know what, that night that happened in Denmark should have never happened. And you know, for me to set the record straight now and to be given this opportunity in this fantastic venue at the O2, 18,000 people sold the place out in 3-4 hours. Sky Box Office, you know, the best platform for boxing in the world as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't get any bigger than this. So for me to be involved in a fight of this magnitude, on this scale, against a fighter of the calibre of MIKKEL Kessler, in a rematch that means so much to me, I could almost explode. The hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. I feel my voice is going, you know, I feel shaky and nervous and apprehensive and tense, but I'm also confident and strong. I actually had a 10-round fight the other day with Tony Bellew in the gym. We shut the gym, locked the doors. There was myself and my trainer Rob McCracken, and Tony Bellew and his trainers, and we had a 10-rounder. Obviously big gloves and head guards, but I feel I've already boxed. I'm so sharp and strong and fit. I'll just show you all. I'll show you all on the 25th of May how well the camp's gone and how driven I've been from the first fight. I just want everybody to enjoy the show, enjoy the occasion. This is what big time boxing is all about. I was just saying to Rob a minute ago when I sat down, this is why I got involved in boxing. This is why I turned professional. I wasn't going to turn professional if it wasn't for Rob McCracken. He sort of taught me into it. But since turning professional, I've boxed in 11, 12, 13 world title fights. None as big as this. This is, for me, the pinnacle of my career. I'm just so excited. I'm not overwhelmed, I'm just excited, and I cannot wait to get in the ring on Saturday night and do a job against this man here. I owe him one. I owe MIKKEL Kessler one. It's time for me to put the record straight. I'm looking forward to it. Enjoy it, and I'm going to leave everything, as I'm sure MIKKEL Kessler is, I'm going to leave absolutely everything, heart, soul, guts, tears, blood, if necessary, in the ring. So just sit back and enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Karl. I think we have to listen to a few words from your opponent at this time. He comes to us from Copenhagen, as everybody knows. 46 victories, 35 knockouts, only 2 defeats, 5 times a world champion. He is the reigning and defending WBA super middleweight champion of the world. Here's MIKKEL, the Viking warrior Kessler.
Hello everybody, and it's nice to be back here in London. You know, he has great words, Carl. I'm not as good as English as he is, even though my mother's English. But of course, as he said, he's ready. I'm ready. So some reporters they told me that they said, what's in it for you? You beat him once. Why you wanna go here and give him the rematch? And I said, you know what? I think this is the fight I wanna fight. I don't see any bigger fight in the world right now, and I wanna fight the best one. And I you know I shook Carl's hand. I said, you know, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna come fight your hometown, and you know what? That's why I'm here. And I'm also here because I want to show him that I'm better than him in his hometown. I don't wanna. I never had a loss in Denmark. Of course, I had some losses outside. I wasn't myself, wasn't there. But I really feel prepared this time. Me and my trainer, Jim Montoya, we've been working a very good game plan for Carl this time. And I feel better than ever before. I feel fast, hungry, and I want to have this IBF. I never had it before. At WBC, WBA, that's it. And I want to try new things. You want to try new things in life, you know, and there gotta be something you gotta chase. And I'm chasing his belt. I'm chasing the revenge. And I want to show Carl and all my boxing fans that I'm better than him in his hometown. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, as I said before, we've got a situation on Saturday where it's just going to be electric. It's going to be exciting. You know, for me to come to the UK and be privileged to announce a fight like this, it was an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up. And of course, our promoters are Matchroom Sport and Team Sauerland. The venue is the O2 Arena. It's going to be a unification fight, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF and WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the world. And naturally, when you have a press conference about boxing, you've got to hear from the promoters. Usually you don't have the ring announcer up here as the MC. The promoters love to talk, and I'd love to have you meet them at this time. I want to remind everybody, the fight will be broadcast on Sky Sports Box Office in the UK, Viasat in Denmark, and HBO on HBO Sports in the USA. As Carl mentioned, 3-4 hours. The first day tickets were on sale. 18,000 tickets gone, snapped up. And that was, what, 3 months ago, Eddie? Unbelievable. It's just an unbelievable event. I had a fan tell me at the airport that this is the biggest fight in British history. Well, you know, I think maybe the Battle of Hastings and Bosworth Field might have topped it, and that little thing with the Messerschmitts and Spitfires a few years ago. But it's definitely in the same class as just an absolute super fight in the history of boxing in the UK. And so let me bring up at this time from Matchroom Sport, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to have you over here and working on the show. You always know it's a huge show when Michael's in town. This is a very proud moment for us at Matchroom to be involved in an event of this magnitude. It's certainly the biggest event I've ever been involved in as a promoter, and I'm so pleased that Carl Froch is involved in the main event. A couple of quick thanks that really have to be done. Obviously to Sky Sports, our broadcast partner in the UK. Thank you for having the vision to work with us on this fight. Barney Francis and of course Adam Smith two huge boxing fans, and I've said before, we're so lucky to have a head of sport at Sky Sports like Barney Francis, who is a huge boxing fan. And I understand he's been walking around with a spring in his step all week, waiting for this huge event. To HBO, again, just like Michael's involvement, you know that it's a huge show when you're live on HBO in America. Thank you to Ken Hirschman, who Carl known for a very long time through the Super 6, and also Kerry Davis, who will be here on Saturday night. To Viasat, thank you of course as well, and to the Sauerland brothers. You know, it's been a pleasure working with Calla and Nissa. I feel as though we're of the same ilk. We've both got fathers who are very successful promoters, and we share a passion for boxing. And I think we're trying to deliver the same kind of thing. So it's a pleasure to have our first event with Sauerland, and long may that continue. To Carl Froch, I can't tell you how proud I am that he's sitting here today in a fight of this magnitude. You know, as a boxing fan, for many years I watched Carl Froch all over the world, you know, beating the likes of Pascal, Jermaine Taylor in that incredible fight in the USA when he stopped him with just seconds to go. He is, in my opinion, one of the greatest fighters Britain's ever produced. And really, when we got involved, I always felt that he never got the respect and adulation he deserves. It's not something that he's overly bothered about. Of course, everybody wants it, but the fact now that he is Britain's #1 fighter, he's involved in a fight of this magnitude, and then able to sell out arenas of this size in the matter of hours, makes me realise and proud that the British public are finally realising just what we've got here. We've got a 3-time champion of the world who dedicates his life and soul to this sport. Take the money away, take the fame away, Carl Froch would still be a fighter, and that's what makes him such a joy to work with. To Rob McCracken as well, Rob is, you know, without doubt the most important person in Carl's career. I'm so pleased for those two that they've got this journey, and you know, they're at this moment where they have, you know, arguably, like Michael said, one of the biggest fights in British history here, and a chance to just become a huge household name. Mikkel, we have massive respect for you, and we thank you for taking this challenge. And Jimmy, you know, as a team, I'm sure we've all seen so many trash talks in many a fight gone by. There's none of that. There's just huge respect between two warriors, and I think that's so nice to see in sport these days, and so nice to see in boxing. As far as the undercard is concerned, we've got some great fights on the undercard. George Groves, who is a potential opponent for these two in the future, will be fighting Noe Gonzalez Alcoba, and also Tony Bellew, who will be rematching Isaac Chilemba for the WBC final eliminator to face the winner of Chad Dawson and Adonis Stevenson. You can watch the fight, of course, live on Sky Sports box office, the details above. And just want to take this time to say thank you for the British public. I was here last week for the darts, we had 10,000 in, and the atmosphere was electric. And I looked up and I realised the top tier wasn't even open. So 18,000 here on Saturday night is going to be one of the greatest atmospheres, I think, sporting occasions this country's seen in a long time. So thank you, and looking forward to a great night and a great fight.
Thank you, Eddie. You know, I have to mention, and this is because I'm going to introduce Cal at this time. We actually go back because of your dad and everything, and I remember you when you were a little bit shorter than me at the time. We go back like 25 years with Barry and everything. And I say that because I have to, the gentleman I'm about to introduce, we go back 16 years. And again, a connection through your dad and you and Nissa. And so without further ado, representing Team Sauerland, please welcome Mr. Kalle Sauerland.
Morning all. Well, thank you Eddie for taking all the thank yous and or giving them out. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet. I think one thank you I would like to say, which Eddie said, is to the fans for making this event, and that comes via the media. You guys have done a great job so far. Please continue till Saturday. It is a fight which is made for the fans. Yeah? It's something which I can talk about boxing fights. We did last year 18 World Championships, and you have to sell fights these days. This fight does not need selling. Go and watch the first fight if you don't believe me. I would just say the words, Saturday night, it's going to be war. I know that's a classic promoter phrase, but just, as I said, watch the first fight. I would give you a little story, a little bit about me and Mikkel. And little bit of a journey that we've gone through over the last couple of years. And you know, we obviously had a great night in April 2010 in Hearn. You know, it was a great fight, and you know, Mikkel was the victor. We were going on to greener pastures to box Alan Green in the third fight of the group stage of the Super Six. Instead of announcing that press conference, we had to have a different press conference. One where I was, for the first time in my life, at a press conference very close to tears, where we had to withdraw from the tournament. It was an injury which most boxers, I think with, let's say, the wealth and fame that Mikkel has already found in his career, would have retired. To his credit, he kept at it. There was no simple way back. It took time. We came back. We filled a stadium for his comeback fight. Not against the biggest name, but it was a feel-back fight. We then went on to Alan Green, the fight that, of course, should have happened in the Super Six. And then, of course, we beat Brian McGee last year. The reason I'm telling you this, it has been a long and hard way back for us, even for someone of the stature of Mikkel Kessler, who in his country, you can't compare to any other boxer, with the exception of Manny Pacquiao, potentially, who carries such fame and stature in his own country as a boxer. There simply is no comparison. Even Mayweather, you can't compare the two. At the same time, now we're here. I think Mikkel has had an excellent camp. Jimmy Montoya, I rate as one of the best trainers on the planet. They have a plan. They won't even tell me the plan, so don't ask me what it is. But we're confident of coming here and doing a job, or else we wouldn't have taken the fight. Very simple. But Carl has, I know before the first fight, me and Carl have a bit of a history of words. There's no need for words now. Carl has my full respect. He's earned his respect in the ring. I think he deserves this night more than any other British boxer at the present moment. He has worked his way to this level. And I'm not going to start a war of words at any stage before this fight. So anyone trying to seek an angle here is not going to get one. This is a fight between two men who are gentlemen, and it's going to be a war. And that's what boxing's about.
Thank you, Cal. At this time, let me bring up the head of Sky Sports Boxing, Mr. Adam Smith.
Thanks, Michael. Good to have you over here. And I just want to carry on from what Calais was saying. Everyone at Sky has been really, really excited about this fight since the second it was announced here 3 months ago. Of course, tickets flew out. Fight fans know what a genuine 50-50 fight is all about. And add into it an enticing rematch, two of the finest super middleweights of their generation, two warriors in the ring, and as Calais and Eddie have both been saying, two highly professional and respectful athletes outside it. And that is crucial. We've had them both into the Sky studios, and everyone's fallen in love with them, both of them. Both Carl and Mikkel, we thank you for that. Recently we had Eubank, Calzaghe, Collins, Roy Jones Jr. and Richie Woodall with us for The Gloves Are Off, and you could feel the energy in that studio when we asked them to make predictions about Froch and Kessler. On Monday we brought you our tactical assessment of what we think might happen. Last night Carl was behind the ropes, which was a fascinating insight into his background, and tonight it's Mikkel's turn to be behind the ropes on Sky, so hopefully you enjoy that. Tomorrow night Johnny and I are down here with David Hay and a host of others to give you features, angles, more focus on the fight, where we bring you ringside from the O2. Friday the weigh-in will be Sky Sports News Live, of course. Sky Sports News Radio are down all week. The website boys are here trying to give you every single angle, every punch covered, and every story. So hopefully the weigh-in will be a terrific event in itself. And then as for the night, on Sky Sports Box Office from 8 o'clock, the rematch, another one between Tony Bellew and Isaac Chilemba. Then George Groves gets his chance against Noe Gonzalez, and then the big one. And as Eddie said, 18,000 here. I think it's going to be absolutely electric. It reminds me of the moment when, maybe when Ricky Hatton fought Costas Hugh at 2 in the morning in June 2005, way back when Frank Bruno fought Oliver McCall at Wembley, maybe in the States when Naz fought Kevin Kelly. That sort of an atmosphere, I think, will be around us on Saturday night. So enjoy it, and I hope you've enjoyed the build-up on Sky, and we'll bring you everything we can on the night to give you a thoroughly entertaining evening, and let's hope everything stands up until then. Good luck to Carl, good luck to Mikkel. It's a great fight.
Thank you, Adam. You know, everything the promoters have said, everything Adam said about the atmosphere, it's true. I mean, everybody knows what it's going to be like here on Saturday night. And the fighters, you know, in Carl's case, he's fighting here in front of all these British fans. There'll be quite a few thousand Danes here, I'm sure. For Mikkel, he has to stay focused because he's going to be in front of what you might call a hostile crowd. And the job of the trainer isn't just to get the fighters prepared physically, but they have to get them prepared mentally. For Carl, he's going to have to, you know, make sure he doesn't get too anxious in front of his so-called hometown or home country fans. And in the case of Mikkel, the same thing, knowing that he's in an atmosphere that's not in his backyard. So the trainers are very important, and I'd like you to meet the trainers at this time. First of all, a gentleman who I guess we go back 25 years, and please don't tell that story about it. And I don't want to hear from you either anymore. And Jimmy has trained 15 world champions. Alexis Arguello. You know, he can come up here and probably name them all, but he's known. I live in Los Angeles now by way of Philadelphia, and he is without a doubt a legend among trainers and managers. And please welcome to the microphone at this time the trainer for MIKKEL Kessler, Mr. Jimmy Montoya.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, all the media. They're right, you're going to have a hell of a fight come Saturday night. One of the remarks that FROCH said not too long ago, he said, you know, Mikkel hasn't got enough fights. He's fought in 3 fights, he knocked everybody out. He's only fought 10 rounds, but he's actually 13. He said, I have 40, I have them in the bank. Well, you get hit a lot more in 40 rounds than you get hit on 13. So the thing is here, the difference between those two fighters is that Mikkel can put you away with 1 punch. And I don't think FROCH can. But nothing taken away from FROCH. FROCH is a good fighter. He's a gentleman. He's a very deserving person of what he's going to accomplish. Whether he goes good or bad, he's going to accomplish a lot that night. But being a trainer of Mikkel, I've seen Mikkel improve in a lot of different ways. Mikkel has got so much to offer. People keep asking me, is he finished? Is he through? I'm sorry, he's got even some more left. What I mean by that, when you say you get the best out of a fighter, you have to look for it. If he can accomplish it, he's doing well. If he can't, you leave it out. You don't try that. But going back to the fight, you have 2 warriors, 2 people that are going to get it on. And I know that if Mikkel does the certain plans that we have, he's going to put him away. And it's not going to be a disgrace for him, or even if he would win from Mikkel. People say, how stupid can you be letting Mikkel go to London? That's not stupidity. Mikkel has fought all over the world. He's fought in many different countries before. We're not fighting the people, we're fighting FROCH. He's a hell of a fighter, one of the best fighters, like they said, than anybody that's existing in England right now. That's always Mikkel. So all I say is, come and see the fight. You're going to get a hell of a treat, and I wish nobody gets hurt. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Always leave it to the trainers to get things going, right? You know, no doubt about it. Let me bring up a gentleman that is become a household name here in the UK. How many gold medals in the Olympics? Only three. The USA would love to have had a couple of those. Of course, he was, at one point in his career, he was an undefeated #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world. I had the pleasure of introducing him for a fight that we don't want to talk about on the undercard of Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant a few years back at the Garden. And he's been recognized for his services in boxing and all the things he's done for young men and the Olympic team and everything with an MBE. So ladies and gentlemen, let me bring up the trainer for Carl Froch, MBE, Mr. Rob McCracken.
Thank you, Michael. He's correct. He introduced me a couple of times as a boxer. I think I lost one of them, so we don't want to talk about that. It's good to hear from Jimmy. He's a fantastic trainer, well renowned in the world of boxing. Listening to what he had to say makes a lot of sense. But the one thing I picked up, and Jimmy knows this as well, that there's nothing like fighting, and there's nothing like fighting at the top level. It sharpens you up. It makes you the better fighter than the fighter who fights 2 or 3 levels below. This is what's happened in the last 3 years. Carl's fought in the Premier League. Mikkel's fought in Division 2. Mikkel's a great fighter. Carl's a great fighter. That's why the crowd's here Saturday. You never know what's going to happen. But we're very confident. When you look at who Froch has fought, he's fought Butte, Andre Ward, Alpha Abraham, and a couple more fighters along the way in the 3 years. And Mikkel's, you know, he's not really fought anybody. So that will be evident Saturday night. Carl's in great shape. He never loses at home. You all know that. And it's going to be a great fight. But Kessler, what a fighter. Great fighter. Thank you.
Just what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go live, actually, back on Sky Sports. We'll be having a coin toss. As you know, both these guys, both champion of the world, and part of the negotiations with Calla was that fair's fair. We'll toss a coin to see who will walk first on Saturday night. If you walk first, you get introduced last. So both fighters have agreed, and Michael, if you can call both fighters up when we go live on Sky Sports.
Where's the coin?
I've got one in here.
I bought one with me as well.
It does have heads and tails. Okay. All right, we're going to have the coin toss now to see who will enter the ring first and who will be introduced first and or second. Okay, thank you very much.
Carl, would you like to call?
Tails.
Your choice.
Oh. Walk last.
Okay. Okay, so we'll walk last and be introduced first. Carl Froch will walk first.
You got it. Okay. All right, do you want to open it up to some Q&A for the fighters at this time? All right, that's, you know, we've heard from everybody. I do want to ask Cal, how many countries are we going to be broadcast to, do you know?
Yeah, we're in over 100 countries around the world, obviously some smaller ones in those 100, but we estimate that we will have a live audience of around 100 million people on Saturday night. So obviously the thought behind the Champions League was to have a captive sports audience. I ask this question the whole time. We have a captive audience, sports audience in front of the television already. So it's a great night, you know, for sports and boxing fans, you know.
Great. And Adam, it's going to be on Sky Sports box office, right? In the UK.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to ask whoever you want. Promoters, fighters, trainers.
Any questions, guys?
Carl, now that you're sat here face to face with him, so close to the fight, does it make you feel all the more real now?
Yeah, as the fight week closes in, obviously the final press conference and then the weigh-in the day before the fight, obviously reality hits home, but I'm very much switched on for Saturday night. I know what's in store for me and MIKKEL and for the fans. So yeah, it becomes real, but that's good. I'm looking forward to it.
MIKKEL, does that feel the same for you too? Does it feel all the more real now that this is happening?
Yes, of course. As I told you before, it's you can't say that 2 months ago, you know. But now, of course, the fight's getting closer, and you can feel that. I can feel it maybe a week ago. Of course, now we are here in London, and of course it gets more real. We get more ready to fight, and that's a good thing.
Carl, hi. You said up there you're feeling nervous and excited. Have you had a feeling like this before any other fight, where you're got quite so many nerves, quite so much excitement?
Yeah, definitely. Nottingham against Lucien Butte, and I was just saying there, I walked out to the ring first against Butte as well, so that sets it up nicely for a similar type of performance. I feel great. I've been on the weight for a couple of weeks. I feel full of energy. I feel strong, confident, sharp. My mindset's I'm so focused. I just can't wait for Saturday night. I'm gutted it's Wednesday. I wish it was Saturday tomorrow. I just want to get in there. The fact that we're walking out first, for me, if we would have won the toss, I'll be totally honest with you, I was going to walk out first. That was the plan. So a few people may have been shocked, but I want to be in that ring first. I want MIKKEL Kessler to be in his changing rooms, hear the crowd, hear that his opponent is going to potentially do some serious damage. Hopefully not too much damage, because I like the guy, but obviously somebody can walk away from. But he's going to be in the ring. I'm in there waiting for him to come out and meet me. And for me, that's quite daunting. I know he's probably not going to be too fussed about it, but I'd rather be in there waiting for him to come in. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, either or, it's no big deal. But yeah, I'm in a great place, similar to the Butte fight, and we all saw what happened to Lucien Butte, the unbeaten Canadian. You know, I absolutely tore his belt off him, and it's that belt there, to remind you, that I tore off Lucien Butte. Do you think a performance like that, I'm going to let somebody come and take that off me after what I achieved that night? No, it's not going away. Not without one hell of a fight. It's still not going anywhere.
MIKKEL, we heard Rob there say that you've not been fighting in the Premier League. How can you be sure you're sharp enough to take on someone in Carl's form?
Well, I had to fight in the green and Super 6, so if that was the second division, then I wouldn't be in it. But of course, I don't think so. Of course, I had my injury, it took a year, and no, I thought I was finished, and I had to, but I fight for some guys.
There you go.
And of course, I don't think so. I had some very good sparring. I had some very good opponents. I feel I'm ready. You know, I don't think about second division or Premier League. I feel I'm here, and I'm ready for the fight. I'm ready to fight Carl. I fought Carl before, so nothing else matters. So I feel good.
MIKKEL, in your address, you mentioned you would be chasing Carl's belt on Saturday, but also chasing the revenge. Could you possibly expand on that, please?
You know, that's what makes a real fighter is to win the championship in his hometown, but also defend it not in his hometown. So going away and defend and also win a new title, that's just double so good. But that's why.
MIKKEL, how close were you to quitting boxing with your eye injury?
I thought it was finished. I thought it was over. I went to maybe 6,000 eye doctors, and they said, oh, we have to see, and if it doesn't grow together, then we have to operate you, and this is all over. So I was sad for 8 months before it started growing back. But in the start, I could see much better, and I was very happy. And because I knew I wasn't finished with my boxing career. And so I'm just grateful for where I am now. I'm just sitting here talking to you, and that's why I have so much energy for this fight on Saturday. I shouldn't be here, but I am, and that's and why am I here? It's because I'm going to win the fight. That's why.
Yeah, let's do some head, you guys. We'll do some photos first. We'll have them step up here. And just want to remind everybody that it's going to be.